All right, how's it going, guys? So before I get started on the stream today, or the static video, I just wanted to give you an update on how the stream or the channel is going to run from now on. So every day, I'm going to start my static videos at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I know you guys are busy, so I'm going to try to cap them at 15 minutes or less to go over your cryptos. And if you would like me to add any other cryptos to these static videos, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to add them. But I'm going to, I've been streaming every day at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. I really love the Twitch platform, and I like the engagement, and all the, the people that come in and the conversations that come up while trading. It's just, I'm really liking Twitch so far. So if you follow and you use Twitch, please consider following me at King of Bybit. Once again, I'll have that link in the description as well. But if you guys want a crypto trading community that's all about self-improvement, education, teaching you all the lessons that honestly I've had to learn the hard way, with also providing low risk, high reward, trade setups, please consider following my Discord and Telegram channel. And once again, I will have those in the link below or description below. So, let's get started. So right now, our trade setup was perfect. As I talked to my, followers on Discord, 9,900 to 10,200 was a no trade zone. Reason being is we had our double top resistance. Let's just say to be specific, it's at 10,180. But, there's a lot of fake outs in crypto. So I was like, let's break 10,200, wait for a small little back test, and then enter. And boom, it's worked out perfect. So, and the reason that was being is we had our double top resistance, but also if we broke under 9,900, more so 9,800, but I was being a little bit more conservative. If we broke under 9,900 before this pump, there was the risk that we could have gone down to 9,600, and so you wouldn't have had an optimal entry. But so far, the trade has worked out perfect. So the areas that I'm watching right now is, I noticed Bitcoin when I started streaming, we were like 10,650. Do not panic on this dump, or I say dump, this small little sell-off. The reason being is if you can look right here, we haven't really had any back test of this support. So what would really add a fire to this bull run, or this little pump, whatever you want to call it, is if we could go back and test the 10 to, maybe 10,300. Let that prove that, hey, we have flipped this as support. It's no longer resistance. That would be a very bullish thing. So don't panic. We could hit the 10.2, 10.3 area, and we'd be just fine. The thing that I'm watching right now, though, is we're building at slightly lower levels of momentum on Market Cypher B on the 1 hour. If we look at the 4 hour, we're looking just fine right now. If we zoom in here, you can see how we're flat. So, we had the same amount of momentum that we had on this first pump. So, on the longer time frames, we're still looking good. But, something to keep an eye on, and this is my trade setup too, that I've talked about before it even happened, is, we are starting to form, slightly lower levels of momentum, but it's still too early to, to start any kind of, bearish positions. So, so part two of this trade setup, and honestly, I've talked about this for the last week, is I don't really see this run getting any higher. I see this run maxing out at roughly 11,400. I don't see us going much higher than that. So with our long positions that we've started, more so if you entered, before our trade setup, you might consider taking some profit, because you can't lose, you can't lose taking profit between 10,800 and 11,200. And in that area, not only am I going to take profit, but I'm going to consider, starting some short positions. And the way that you're going to know when it's time is when, check your MACD and your volume indicator. If you see lower levels of momentum and you see the volume dropping, that's going to be your indication that we could be getting, the top of this pump right now. So, so far, I'm still holding my long, so everything so far is going well. But like I said, between 10,800, which is going to be our first level of resistance from these levels, that's really our next resistance level. And then after that, it's going to be where we topped out on our last run at 11,200, with your first support areas being, roughly in about that 10,002, 10,003 area. So, That pretty much sums up Bitcoin, but just keep an eye on your MACD and your volume indicator. That's going to help you out with dictating or having a better idea of when we're getting close to our top. So another coin that's been lagging, just like XRP, is Ethereum. We're holding our upsloping line. We've held this since like March or April. We're respecting it beautifully. You're going to have a little bit of resistance at $220. And you're also going to have another small resistance line at $225. But looking at the chart here, the next area, so like remember how 10,200 was our trade setup? Well, for Ethereum, if you're wanting to trade Ethereum, my next trade setup is going to be if we break 235. I think what's going to happen is we will have a nice gap up to roughly about $260 if we happen to break it. All right, so let's see here. Let's get our price indicator on. So from 235 to 260, you're looking at roughly about a 10% run. And if we can plow through $260, the next area I'm going to target is about $280. So, areas to remember on Ethereum, keep an eye on your MACD. That's going to be your indicator for how this momentum is playing out. The 4-hour, we're showing, actually a little bit bullish momentum than Bitcoin is right now. So it looks like Ethereum could be building some steam. But once again, if Bitcoin dips to 10,300, these coins are going to dip. You can see on this dip now we had a nice little candle, to the downside, which we're already getting slightly bought up. So your support areas for Ethereum is going to be your $205 mark and then your psychological $200 support. With, and if we break that, the next area I'm going to eye is where we have these cluster of bottoms, right here, which is roughly about $190, $192. So that pretty much sums up Ethereum. You have support at 205 and your first resistance pretty much, let's just say 225, and then our trade set up at 235. I like to say these numbers multiple times, just so if you happen to miss it, you don't have to sit and replay. Because I'm not sure if you're like me and you write these things down or put them in your phone or, whatever you store information on. I just like to be, clear on what, I'm saying. So looking at XRP right now, you're going to have your major support level at roughly about 30 cents. That's going to be your first support level. But, we've talked about this for a while now. You're going to have major support that goes back for months at 28 cents. And if for some reason, let's say, it's not really worth talking about now, but if for some reason we got extremely bearish, you're going to have these two touch points at 25 cents. But looking at this data, because it's a clear picture, if you look at this, if you take this wick out of the equation, once we broke under 38 cents, it took months for XRP to get back over it. And we're only maybe a month into it right now. So, my trade setup for XRP is if we can break 32.5 cents, I think we could have a nice little pump to roughly about 35 cents. But just know, this 36 to 38 cent area, there's going to be a lot of sellers. So, just be careful with that. So, for me, if I was to buy this breakout at 32.5 cents, I would be looking to sell at 35 cents. And then, I'll see how it plays out. But, just be careful with XRP. On the daily, this is actually really good. You're showing bullish divergence here. The momentum, it's not really divergence yet, but the momentum is getting smaller. This is on the daily. And honestly, on the other currencies, they're not showing divergence. Or, they're not really showing the bears running out of the steam as much, like on Ethereum and Bitcoin. So, on the 4-hour, let's see how this looks here. Yeah, so, with that little sell-off Ethereum had, we're showing a little bit of bearish momentum right now, but I really wouldn't panic too much about it. Let's go to another shorter time frame. Yeah, so, on the longer time frames, XRP is looking a little bullish, but on the short-term time frames, the bears look like they're trying to build some momentum. our RSI turned green, but now we're kind of pointed to the downside. So it's just something to keep an eye on. So to sum up XRP, you're going to have support at 30 cents, 28 cents with your first resistance level at 32.5. And if we can break 32.5, I think we're going to have a decent pump to 35 cents. So that pretty much sums it up today. If you enjoy today's content, please hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you're a Twitch user, I will have my links to my channel. If you wanted mind giving me a follow, I'm really trying to become an affiliate. I think I'm like 20% of the way there. And if you want a community that's all about supporting you, helping for you to become a better trader, giving you low risk trade setups, how I come up with these, and how to decipher these indicators and tools so you can learn to use these one day on your own. Please consider following my Discord channel and Telegram, which once again, those will be in the comments below, or I'm sorry, the description below. But I think that does it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support just by viewing my channel, and I will see you later tonight.